Well, 2003 was a great year. Great year for racing, great year for this man. In his rookie year, Max Smith took the championship. Unheard of in drag racing to come out and do it like that, but it went right down to the wire. In the final in 2003, at the final race, he beat this man into second spot, Sweden's Michael Kagared. Will it be the same this year? I don't know. Kagared's got a whole new car, and he is looking for the championship. Third spot, 2003, was this man from Sweden, the big guy. This is Tommy Moller, always a man to be reckoned with, but in 2001, this man was the European champion. Andy Carter, back with Go-Talk now and looking for the championship. But this was last year's champ, and he feels fairly confident for this year.
Last year I won in my rookie year. This year nobody has won it twice, so that is my expectations. I want to do it. I want to be the first to win this Top Fuel Championship twice.
Well, we don't have too many Top Fuel drivers in the UK, but another man looking for the championship is this man, Andy Carter.
Our expectations this year are to win the championship and gain maximum exposure for our sponsors. That's our normal mission. We've got a brand new car this year, courtesy of Runa Field. It's tuned by Eddie Core. Got my usual super crew. You're going to see big things out of us this year. There's none that I fear the most, they all fear me. But if there was one, it would be Mickey Kagared.
It was up to the last round last year, and I hurt the motor in the half track. I was leading the lap and everything, so no, I lost in the few seconds left of the year, so it wasn't so good. It's a brand new car, and most of the motors and parts are also brand new, and it takes a little while to figure out everything now, but we hope we can win this year anyway.
The tension is already mounting here. We're at round number one, the FIA Championship in 2004, the home of European drag racing, Santapod Raceway. This is how the quarterfinals look in Top Fuel. But before we take a look back at the quarterfinals, here's the man who puts all the racing together.
Well, in Top Fuel it's looking very exciting. We've got new teams coming in from Holland, Sweden and England. We've got our own Max Smith, the current champion, back. He's being challenged by the previous champion, Andy Carter, so the battle there is going to look fantastic. Mickey Kagared has stepped up from Sweden. I think he'll be a serious challenge. Lex June's coming from Holland, and all I can say in conclusion, this year's championship is certainly going to be a true pan-European championship in Top Fuel.
Well, here we go then. We're at semi-final stage here for the first round of Top Fuel, but looking back at the quarterfinals, and joining me in the commentary box is a man who knows all about Top Fuel. This is Darryl Bradford. Darryl.
Hi John, hi racing fans. Well, this is the first round between England's Andy Carter and England's Max Smith. Max desperately wants to defend his number one on the side of the car, and nobody wants it back more than this man, Andy Carter.
Exactly right. Well, here we go. We're going up to the start line here. Don't forget, Carter has already run during qualifying, one of the quickest runs we've seen. And now he's looking to back that up. Identical start line reactions. Carter takes the win. Extraordinary run from him. 4.88. It's a new European record.
And Andy stepping up, taking the record. Fantastic launches from both cars. Max takes the long way round in the right-hand lane, driving the car down the barrier. Andy clicks it off a little bit early, and Max nearly nips him at the lights. But they're all safe and sound. What a first round.
Well, yes, indeed, what a first round. And these were the next pick at quarterfinals. From UK, John Webster, and from Sweden, this man, Michael Kagared, a man that I've seen in so many different cars over the years. Had a tremendous accident here a couple of years back at Santapod, but now back out looking for a championship place. And John Webster, of course, builds them as well as races them.
Absolutely, John Webster in the right lane of the Canto car. Here we go. Both very even off the starting line. Mickey's still having a few problems with the fuel on that car, but he manages to make it to the finish line ahead of John.
Yeah, indeed. So John's race was run, really, just coming out of the starting blocks. Mickey takes the win the next round. Now, more problems for our racers with the third pair coming out here. This puts Sweden, which is this man, a man I've seen in a load of street racing cars, Joran Persjolka, against the new man, Thomas Nators from Norway. And you can see the guys pushing Joran Persjolka's car back. He had a problem there with an engine restraint.
Yeah, he didn't have the correct restraint systems on the car, so the starter wisely shut him off. Just in case there was a problem, anything happened, then you know, it wouldn't be a nice situation if the right stuff wasn't on there. Thomas take a nice, easy, pedestrian almost, first ever round win in FIA Top Fuel. He'll be real happy just to make it through.
But then the final pair that came out, had the promise of a really race. And he finds himself up.
To make up to catch up, Tommy.
Well, there we are, and this is where we're sitting now, the semi-finals look. We're going to be seeing Andy Carter against his nemesis, Michael Kagarad, and Thomas Latours. Back with the Tommies. Thomas Latours against Tommy Moller.
Yeah, on to the semi-finals. Andy Carter in the go-to car against Michael Kagarad in the Barco car. This should be a great race. Let's hear from Andy.
Again, last year we were #1 qualifiers. Max was nowhere and he came and he beat us. And I mean, I don't really get nervous, but that one was a little bit iffy for me.
Right? Andy Carter was nervous
on
the line.
that one. No, I wasn't nervous once I was in the car. It was before that. Once I got strapped in, I was thankful, you know, great. I feel fine once I was in the office.
We're learning every round because the car is new, the setup is new, and everything is new for us. So it takes a little while to figure out everything.
Well, here we go, up to the start line. This all-important start line, Darryl. They've got to get good reaction times.
Absolutely, and Andy out first there, pedals the car on down the racetrack, and he's going to be running a huge speed by the end of that pass.
Well, not only a huge speed, it's another new ET record and a terminal speed record, 306 miles per hour.
Yeah, the Go-To team are absolutely on a mission this weekend. Andy leaves first, Mickey strikes the tyres, has the shoots out by half track. Andy straight down the middle lane and out the back door, and as you can see from this, the team are absolutely overjoyed.
Fantastic, yeah. Go Talk wins, Lucas, NGK, thanks very much. We couldn't do it without them. Still got a final round to go yet. Let's take one at a time.
You turn off to see Andy Carter that happy. That's the other side of that man. Winning is everything. Who's going to be his opponent in the final? It's going to be one of these two. Sweden, Tommy Moller. From Norway, Thomas Latours. Let's go to Thomas Latours first of all. Are you enjoying Top Fuel? Because you come from Pro Modified. Are you enjoying Top Fuel?
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. A little bit early to be in the season to compare it with Pro Mod, but we'll see later.
So here we go then. It's up to the start line with these two. Darryl, this should be a good race for Thomas Latours.
Oh no, Thomas unfortunately gets out too early on the starting line. I think what he did, a little bit of nerves creeping in there. He what we call double clutched the throttle. He actually went to put his foot down and then thought no, but by then it was too late. He'd gone through. Tommy takes probably one of the easiest wins he'll ever get.
Yeah, indeed. Wow, well this sets up our final then, ladies and gentlemen, because in we go, the two old protagonists, Andy Carter and Tommy Moller, two very well, if you think that these are the numbers 1 and 2 qualifiers coming out here in the final, that, in my book, is how it should be. Let's get across to Andy, first of all. A great run in the semi-final.
Yeah, fantastic, John. 483 at 306 mile an hour. So we've reset the ET record to 483. And we've also taken Barry's old record of 306 miles.
Who usually wins between you?
Andy, and his guy is very tough, so we must step up the car to 480.
Tommy Möller, vinnare på den första EM-deltävlingen, leder serien nu. Berätta om din helg.
Den här helgen har varit väldigt bra för oss. Vi har haft goda framgångar både i kvalet, då kvaltvåa på 4.99. Sen har vi haft tur i elimineringen. Där Natas rödlykta och även Andy Carter i finalen. Så men tur måste man ha, man kan ju inte bara...
Ja, det är en del av racingen.
En del av racingen, helt klart.
Tommy Moller leads the championship charge. Second spot, Andy Carter, and then Mickey Kagrad and Thomas Nators in joint third spot. We've seen it all. Records, quickest side-by-side runs. Next up, Pro-Stock Cars. Last season was a hard-fought year, let me tell you, for this man. Michael Malmgren ended up in his Camaro, the champion again. He was the champion in 2002, but my goodness me, everybody was pressing him hard. And that includes this guy, Jimmy Oland, runner-up in the championship last year. He is such a tough competitor. The person who ended up third in the championship has left the sport for a while. That's Jan Murin. We're going to miss him. But fourth in the championship last year was this man, Magnus Hansen. Everybody for 2004 is looking to step up their performance. And how about this for a paint scheme? Doesn't that look fantastic on that Firebird? Into the pits now. And the man who has been champ for the last couple of years, new car for this year, a beautiful Pontiac Grand Am, is Michael Malmgren.
For 2004, AC Delco Pro Stock Racing has high hope and expectation. We have this brand new Grand Am, nice piece of equipment built by Jerry Bickle race car. We ran some good testing in the US this spring at 686, 201. So it's looking pretty good.
Michael's always full of confidence, but I tell you what, people like Jimmy Oland can really frighten Michael Malmgren. Jimmy Oland, with this beautiful Firebird, is feeling confident himself.
They are all tough, and I mean anybody can win the championship. We all got good engines this season, but Michael is the champion, so you got to aim for him, and he's going to be really tough, you know, to outrun.
Well, a new guy coming back into Pro Stock racing is this man with a GM Cavalier, not a Vauxhall Cavalier, a Chevrolet Cavalier. This is Jackie Hansen.
I get it up from United States with a guy called Tom Hammonds. Everybody knows him there. And it fits well for me because he had so long legs and that, so I sit inside the car and I have a real pleasure about it.
Well, here we are. We're at round number 1 of the FIA Pro Stock Championship in 2004. We're at Santa Pod Raceway, and I'm here in the commentary box with Darrell Bradford. 2 people running in the 6s at this particular event.
It's been so much closer this year. Malmgren's got an awful lot of competition from an awful lot of different cars and teams. Everybody's got new engines. Everybody's stepping up. They've done an awful lot of testing. First up in the first round, we got Kenneth Soderstrom from Sweden. He's actually driving the car that used to be the car that Nicholas Anderson drove in Pro Stock up against Jimmy Oland.
Well, Jimmy, yeah, indeed, as we look back on it, as we're sitting here in our semi-final stage, we're looking back at this, and very, very nice, away together, Soderstrom and Oland takes the win. Better start line reaction for Jimmy Oland. He was out in front right the way through and takes a very convincing win.
Yeah, Jimmy's really, really strong on the lights. He's great at it as well. And he's fell off a bit from his qualifying pace, but I think by the time he gets to the semi-final, he's going to step up again.
Well, these Pro Stock cars, of course, running very, very strict parameters of what they can and can't do. This is that new Chevrolet Cavalier that we were talking about. It's got a tremendous pedigree for Jackie Hansen. He should be able to do some great things with this. And side-by-side duel to see at quarter-final stage, because we've got the AC Delco car of Michael Malmgren, the champion, and he is racing against the man who was the rookie in the class last year, Tommy Lindell, but Lindell is in
Malmgren's old car.
That's right. Yeah, that must be weird.
Exactly. The car stayed in Sweden. Tommy's been doing a good job with it this weekend. They couldn't quite get a handle on the old probe that they had, but hopefully for this season, with Michael's old car, proven race car, championship winning car, they're going to do a lot better.
Well, Tommy was out on the tracks first, but it was Michael who took the win, and he marches into the next round with yet another 6.98. Great run from the Grand Am.
Absolutely fantastic. It was not a few years ago that a 6-second run was a really good run for a top methanol car. Now we're seeing 500 cubic inch door slammer cars, as we put them, running 6-second DTs.
So this sets up the semi-finals then. It's Michael Malmgren, lucky man, is on a bye straight through into the final. Then we've got Jimmy Olin against Magnus Hansen.
Yeah, that should be a tight one. That'll be really good.
But doesn't this new car look absolutely glorious?
It's a fantastic new piece of kit. The Pontiac Grand Am has been designed in the wind tunnel in the States, and it really goes down a racetrack very, very well. Malmgren's been running in the States, and he's enjoying it.
It's very nice. It's a very, very tricky car.
Is it nice to drive?
It's very nice. It's very special with these new 16-inch speed blocks. It's very stable. Even if the guy says in the US, I mean, you slow the car down 300 with these big tires on the good tracks, but I think I can take advantage. Maybe not here at Sanctaport, but on one of the little bit more slicker tracks like maybe Mantorp or Hockenheim, it can help me, yeah.
Darryl, tell me, speed-lock tyres.
Well, basically, the amount of horsepower that goes through Pro Stock and Top Fuel engines these days, they actually bolt the tyres onto the rims so that they don't move inside them. It makes the car much more stable and much more safer too.
We short-shifted though. I think I did a couple of gears, but it felt kind of okay. We didn't know which lane to go to. There was some struggling with the lanes and some oil downs, but it was an okay run, I think.
Well, it's going to be one of these two into the final to meet Michael Malmgren. And certainly both of these guys with these very swoopy, sexy-looking Pontiac Firebirds. I love these cars to bits. I wouldn't mind owning a road version of one of these. But let's get across to Jimmy Olin and just find out his thoughts about going into the final.
Well, we broke one of the shifter levers in the transmission when I shifted second. And then we slipped the clutch a little too much. So the time wasn't good, but it was elimination run, so I had to, I had to win.
A lot of the drivers now are putting in different engines, bringing in engines from America. You got any plans for any new surprise engines to come through?
We got one in the car right now. We got a new one. That's why we took the European record the first run, but Michael took it back, but we're going to take it back again, I'll tell you that.
Well, there you are. I find out more as I go round the pits than I do from reading any books or literature. But here we go, away from the start line. Very, very close, Darryl.
Yeah, Jimmy away first, as he's almost trademarked for doing over the finish line. Unfortunately, Magnus wasn't quite as quick as his run in the quarterfinals, and Jimmy takes an excellent win there, 694 to 703. He'll be very happy with that one.
I think I was pretty much ahead of him, I guess so, and I was shaking real hard on third and fourth gear, but I just kept it in there and drive through it because it's semi-finals. If you want to go to the final, you got to do it.
Well, this is how it looks then, Darryl. It is that man, Jimmy Olin, coming up against Michael Malmgren. He worried him all the way through 2003.
They've been battling it out all weekend. They've been swapping the ET record all through qualifying, and now they actually get all the way to the final to meet each other here. It's going to be a very, very close race, a very, very tough competition, and I'm sure they're both looking forward to it very much. We've
been struggling really hard this weekend. We started out real nice with 2 good runs on Saturday, then we were way off on Sunday in qualification. And we were all first in the quarterfinals we broke the transmission, but I managed to win that round anyway on 4 gears. And now we did a really nice pass here in the semifinals. So
how's the car going? Is it very smooth out there for you?
No, it was shaking the tires real bad on this run.
Was it?
Yeah, but I kept in it because I want to be in the final.
Yeah, I mean, we've been number 1 and number 2 and back and forwards, and I mean, it's a new combination for us, this new car, with the fuel situation and everything, so we just take step by step. Fortunately, this run we spun the tires real bad and slowed down the ET, so we're still trying to find a good setup for Europe for this car.
Well, it's obviously going to be a very, very close final indeed between these two. Start line reaction, of course, is all important. And then the power on the run. And away first is Jimmy Olin. But then alongside comes Michael Malmgren.
And Malcolm just takes it at the finish line. He'll be so happy with that. Jimmy Olin out first by 0.03 of a second. And as you can see by the scoreboards, Malmgren got there 693 to 698. But Jimmy made up a lot of that on the starting line. Although he ran 0.06 of a second quicker, so he managed to squeak by at the finish line. He'll be happy.
We're still a little bit working the setup with the fuel and the combination in this new car and the new motor. But, I mean, it ended up very well. I mean, we have Jimmy Olin in the final. He's very hard to beat. He also got good power with his new Bob Ingles motors. We knew that. So we said, let's just turn the whole car around and do something here. So we know we will come down the track fast or we just lose it big time. It doesn't matter because we figure 698 won't hold it for him. So we said, okay, let's go for it. And we did, and we beat it. And my crew did it just
perfect job, you know, taking that whole setup, and I'm so happy.
Well, a very brave man to try that in the final, but it paid off. He leads the championship just like a rerun of last year. Second spot, Jimmy Oland. Next, it's top. Well, last year, 2003, was the year of this man from Switzerland, Urs Urbacher, beaten only once in the whole year. Dan Larson, what a great season he had. Took the win at the finals in 2003. This man, Nicholas Anderson, drives from Mickey Kagarat. He's got to start looking for those wins now. He's been a rookie for quite some time. And this man, Leif Andreasen, things have just not been going his way over the last season. He's won the championship twice in the past. This man, Ulf Leanders, there's a lot more power to come from the Iron Cad car. But we go and talk to the man who was undoubtedly the most winningest champion that we'd ever had in Top Methanol Funny Car, Urs Urbacher. Urs, I'll never get beaten, Urbacher.
This year I think the best competitor is Dan Larson, is number 2 from last year, and you see it this weekend he is really fast, and I think he is my really bad guy. I need to beat him.
Well, there you are. There's the champ saying who he considers his number 1 opponent is going to be. And the man from Denmark really is having a great weekend here at Santa Pod. He was the number 1 qualifier.
Your main competitor, what do you think?
I think my biggest competitor is Urs Urbacher.
I know the man who'd like to be the competitor. It's this man, the man who's won the Funny Car Championship 3 times. From Sweden, Leif Andreasen.
We were running in the States in Las Vegas, and there were 650 cars there, and we got an award for the best engineered car there, and that's a big thing for us.
Well, here we go. The action's just about to start. This is how it looks for the first round. We, in actual fact, are sitting at the semi-final stage. We're looking back at these quarter-finals to see just exactly what went on. And really, Darryl, this man has become quite a class act, hasn't he?
Yeah, Dan Larson came on very strong in the second half of 2003, really getting close to Urs's numbers and performance as well. And these cars now producing over 3,000 brake horsepower, running over 250 miles an hour in less than 6 seconds, which is astounding for a blown methanol engine. Dan taking a nice easy, if you can call it that, at 236 miles an hour, solo run in the first round.
Well, the next pair that came out put Arvid Grodin with his Mustang, the man who's had a year out, a sabbatical, what a lucky guy, up against Leif Andreasen. Now, really, Darryl, this should have been cut and dried, a win for Leif Andreasen.
Yeah, but unfortunately, new cars are never easy things, as the Commaster Tools team have found out this weekend. Arvid takes the win with a new personal best, and the ESAB crew in the other lane have got a long tow home, unfortunately, after that one.
And this pair, well, is it going to be another year for Urs Urbacher? That was everybody's thoughts as we watched these two come out onto the track. Jürgen Nagel from Germany really is up against it here. He's our number 7 qualifier.
Oh, there's a big old mountain to climb here for him. He's really getting the hang of this car very well. He's not lacking in parts, he's just lacking in a little bit of experience, but that will come. More rounds he attends, the better he will get, but he's up against the defending champion in the first round of the championship, and as you can see, that really says it all, John.
Yeah, indeed. And Urs Urbacher showing us what he's made of course, giving us another 5.7 second run. Hey, he's back on form straight away. Wow, okay, well now then, our final pair. And Darryl, these guys are a bit like you in a way, aren't they? They're the young blood of drag racing coming out here.
Yeah, the difference is they're out there racing, no hard feelings, guys. This is Ulf Leanders in the left-hand lane in the ironclad Mondeo. In the other lane, Nicholas Anderson in the Sam Flex Dodge Avenger. Both very hard races. They both did pretty well in qualifying. Nicholas in his second year in a methanol funny car. He's really getting the hang of it, but unfortunately, as you can see from that, he threw it all away on a red light. I think the car just rolled through. Ulf's had a very tough weekend. They just managed to get the car back together for the first round, and Nicholas puts himself out.
Well, indeed. What a great shame. It's always worse going out on a red light. It looked to me as though Nicholas Anderson would have given Ulf Leanders a great run for his money. You can see that red light glowing on the bottom of the Christmas tree there. That means he went before the green came on. This is how the semi-finals look then. This is what we're now waiting for. Dan Larson against Arvid Grodin. That's going to be an interesting race. And then Urbacher against Leanders. Hey, very, very quick machines indeed.
Yeah, Ulf was actually the only guy that managed to beat Urs in head-to-head competition last year, so that'll be a great semi. So on with the first semi-final with Arvid Grodem and Dan Larsen.
So do you think taking a year out has paid dividends? Is that the right thing to do? Just get your mind set and then come back again?
For me, I think it was, because we didn't have sufficient funds to campaign a whole FIA round, so or the European Championship. So the team worked for Dan Larsen, and I think to look at it from a different perspective, and me being out, I think that was good for the team and also for the team spirit.
Well, indeed, and it is an interesting thing, isn't it? Because the crew that's now working on Arvid Grodem's car again were working for Dan Larsen last year. Gives them a little bit of insider dealing, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is that they wanted to do something for the year. They went over to help Dan. Dan had a really, really great last year. No reason to think with more crew of his own back again this year he won't do really, really so well. But at the same time, Arvid's crew have now got a lot more experience than they would have got sitting at home for the year.
Okay, well, here we go up to those magic beams to start it all off. A slightly better start line reaction for Arvid Grodem, but then Dan Larsen's car comes steaming by. Hey, great drag race. A 6.09 to a 5.87. Fabulous race. That's what drag racing's all about.
Absolutely. Superb, and great to see Arvid back and getting, he'll be very, very happy making it to the semi-finals and setting personal bests in his first race back again.
Are we back to winning form again then this year?
Yeah, we are back with the new system. We have a little bit problem to take that in, and now we are back, and the truck is wonderful. The Santa Paul crew is the best crew of the world. They make a great job, and we can go fast in the next round. A new blower, new fuel system, new heads, everything, and we find the setup after 4 rounds. That's great.
Of the Anders, miserable weekend. Blew his engine to bits. Fast Freddie Fagerström saved him.
It was a kind of a nitro bang, actually. The engine was completely split in 2 parts, and it was a lot of work. All the guys in the team, they stayed up to 6:30 in the morning. I was asleep then, but they do such an incredible work, and thanks also to Freddie and all of the other guys is helping us with parts and pieces.
Well, I wonder if he's going to be a giant killer with a borrowed Freddie Fagerström engine. Here we go, up to the start line. It's all down to start line reaction, and Alfie Anders gets away first.
Yeah, and he's absolutely ahead until, unfortunately, the burst panel on the front of the engine pops. You can see it fly over the hood of the car, chutes come out, and Urs takes another very, very strong win.
He does, a 5.76.
You're up to Dan Larsen now. What about that?
Yeah, it's really fast. So it's only 110 behind us. So, but we go in the 60s in the final.
Okay.
Well, that sets it all up for us then. Dan Larsen and Urs Urbacher in the final. The numbers 1 and 2 men from the championship last year, and the numbers 1 and 2 men in qualifying this year. The racing is always so great, I think, with these funny cars. Let's try and catch up with the drivers just before we go into that final.
Yeah, it's another final like last year. We win the first race, and then we win the next 5. Only the world final we're losing in the final. So
now you're going into this final against Dan Larsen with lane choice.
Yes.
Is that important to you?
I think not. The track is really good this weekend, and both lines are really good, and it's perfect.
The car's running really, really well.
Yes.
Urs has got lane choice. Is that important for you?
No.
Not at all? Do you think the track is good in both lanes
Yes,
here?
I think it's the same.
Yeah?
Yes.
And how about your car? Have you got any problems with your car at all?
We have a little problem with the transmission, but we fix it.
Well, let's hope so. It's going to be a fine final, I think, this one, Darrell.
Absolutely. Both of these cars have been so well matched throughout qualifying and elimination, so let's see how they do in the final. And it looks like it's Urs way first. Dan's smoking the tyres, going sideways. Urs is still going straight down his lane, gets there ahead of the box, the funny car. What a final. Oh, dearie me. As you can see, the crew absolutely inconsolable. Indeed. And Urs takes another round win.
Well, I just wonder if this is deja vu. 2003, this is exactly how it started off. Urbacher came out and took the first round win. He then went on to win the championship. Rotten run from both drivers here, but the one who succeeded was Urs Urbacher.
Urs, congratulations, the winner of the 2004 main event. It was a wild ride, that one.
Yeah, it was a really wild one. I go up in smoke with the tires, and the other guy goes also up in smoke, and I go back in, and it's was really, really wide run. I go sideways and would I bring it home, so. And the most important thing is all the guys winning the main event, they're winning normally the championship.
Well, there you are. What do you think? He certainly thinks he's going to win the championship this year. Sitting on top of the pile after round number 1, and he's really going for it. Coming up, it's Top Methanol Dragster. Last season, at long last, was the season belonging to this man. From Great Britain, Dave, they call him Grumpy Wilson, took the championship. It was nip and tuck the whole season long with this man. From Germany, Peter Schürfer, it came right down to the wire. The final event of 2003 produced the winner, Dave Wilson. The man who still sits there trying to get back on form with these two other gladiators is Great Britain's Rob Turner. Will it happen for him this year? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. But meanwhile, we get into the pits to get up close and personal with our drivers. Remember, there's only 3 of them here this weekend. Let's talk to the runner-up from last year, Peter Schürfer.
Peter, we have a brand new season ahead of us, 2004. What are your expectations?
Ja, wir hoffen, die Saison gut abzuschließen und ja, am Ende des Jahres eine gute Platzierung zu machen.
When you think that these cars are running within hundredths of one another, it is really, really tough, the competition here. But the man who has done so well over the last season is this man, the champion, Dave Wilson from Farnborough in Hampshire.
Well, we've been over to the States and we've done 5 or 6 races over there. American Car Imports got us over there, and we had a real good time. We enjoyed ourselves and we learned quite a lot.
Will they get back on course again this year? Champions, of course, in 2001. Netcall Telecom are looking to step up in 2004. Let's have a word with the driver. This is Rob Turner.
This year we expect to run the car consistently and hopefully in the 540s, and we're looking for the championship win.
It's round number 1 from Santapod Raceway. I'm John Price, joined in the commentary box as always by Darryl Bradford. Well, of course, this is how you started, isn't it?
Absolutely, John. Yeah, I started out right here in one of these, the Top Methanol Dragster. This is Dave Wilson coming out into the right-hand lane on his solo run in the semi-finals here. I raced against Dave a couple of times. He's a very, very hard competitor. There you can see his championship stats. Did very, very well. And finally had his championship lead last year. Beat everybody to the end of the season and had a great time.
Well, yeah, indeed. He was our number 1 qualifier here this weekend, running down into the 5.5s. And cracks off a storming run down into the 5.4s. Hey, he's just throwing that gauntlet down to everybody else. Look at that, 255 miles per hour. Great run.
Absolutely great run. 255 miles an hour in a 3,000 horsepower methanol dragster takes some doing. On to our next pair. Peter Schürfer in the Werner dragster in the left-hand lane, all the way down from Bavaria in southern Germany. He was actually the champion. He beat Dave Wilson to the title in 2002, just nipped at the post in 2003. This chap, Rob Turner, just round the corner from Rushden in Northamptonshire, and the Netcall Telecom team looking to get back on form as we heard earlier.
Well, indeed, and of course, as I said earlier on, he was the champ back in 2001, so both of these guys so experienced, running within hundredths of one another, so up to the start line, this all-important start line. And of course these guys actually change gear on the run, Darryl.
Absolutely, they're bringing the revs up as they come into stage, then they plant the right foot, take the left foot off the clutch, and Rob has a huge explosion there, a horrible flash flyer. Peter Schürfer goes on, nice safe run for him, but let's hope that Rob's going to be okay.
Well, indeed. Do you know, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. Let's watch this again. And you can see neat fuel coming out the headers, and then suddenly it all catches fire. That would have got Rob's attention big time. And here we can see the safety safari on the car and the driver straight away. That flame licked round the front. Usually these cars have little fillets in the side to push air through the cockpit and take flames towards the rear, but it doesn't seem to have worked this time. Oh, he's up on his feet, he's okay, just being put into the ambulance to be taken away.
And on to Peter Schürfer, who took the win, but I'm sure he wouldn't want to win in that way.
Well, Peter, I understand that it was quite dramatic down there. Tell us what happened.
Ja gut, ich kann das eigentlich nur beurteilen, was bei unserem Lauf, bei unserem Auto war. Das war einfach ein riesen Tire-Shake und ich wollte eigentlich schon fast abbrechen, aber dann habe ich gesehen, dass Turner Riesenprobleme mit seinem Car sich ergeben hat und dann bin ich am Gas geblieben.
So Turner was a little in front of you when it all happened then?
Normal wäre der Turner Gewinner gewesen.
Well, it wasn't normal circumstances. Racing is racing. You were first to the finish line, so congratulations.
Okay, danke, aber mir tut es trotzdem von Turner leid, weil man weiß, Turner muss auch immer jede Pfund zusammensparen und wenn da jetzt ein größerer Defekt ist, das wäre sehr, sehr schade.
Well, this is how the final set up. The good news is, of course, is that Rob Turner is okay. He was taken off to hospital. He had some superficial burns, but he'll be out looking for this championship again in round number 2, I'm sure, in Finland.
Anyway, on to the final top methanol dragster. Dave Wilson in the American Car Imports PlayStation 2 dragster in the right-hand lane, up against Peter Chauffeur. Let's hear what Dave thinks.
Now, you've been over to the States racing. Has that really given you a good handle on everything that you're doing?
It's taught us a few things, and it's reproved some of the things we already thought, but we have had to retune the car and reorganise ourselves since we came back from the States, so it's kind of like starting a new season again.
Well, here we are then. These two guys, I would love to know how many times these guys have met now, because the rewards must be almost identical. Last year, 2003, one would come out and win one race, and then the next race, it would be the turn of the other one. Now, this is how it went right the way through the year, right down to the wire at the finals meeting 2003.
The last race of the season, it was within the last thousandth of a second that one whole year's worth of racing was decided between these two guys. And in the last 3 years, the three cars that you've seen today, the last 3 years, they've all won the championship one time each. And that's how close it is. It couldn't be any closer.
Well, here we come, up to the start line then for these two. This is going to be so interesting. We've already seen Dave Wilson run a 5-4. Peter Schurfer's team have told us they're stepping up the power. And Schurfer gets away first, but only just. But now just look at the power of the American Car Imports dragster. Drives by a 5-4 to a 5-6. Great drag race. But it's all Dave Wilson again. And I wonder whether this is setting the scene for 2004. The crew get cheered to the top end to pick up their driver.
Great weekend for us. Really great weekend. We struggled a little bit this weekend with new organisation, new team members, and finding a tune-up after we've been to the States to work in Europe again. And eventually it's all come right for us. I couldn't see Peter all the way, so that was good enough for me.
For sure. What's coming up now?
Next race is Finland, about a month's time, and we like Finland, so hopefully we'll go there and maybe we'll do the same thing again, but we'll certainly be trying 100%.
We've seen this before, haven't we? Wilson, Schurfer, Turner, 2003 revisited.
And sure, just the start of more fantastic top methanol dragster action in 2004.